Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. Welcome to English grade 9 video lecture series. I'm your instructor Zia Hamid. I hope that you're doing great. Students, today we are going to talk about a student's learning outcome of grammar. This is our unit 7, lecture number 3, and today we will talk about identify and use compound prepositions and prepositional phrases in writing. So, we are well aware of compound prepositions and also prepositional phrases, or if not, then we know what are prepositions and what are phrases. So students, हमने पढ़ा है कि what are prepositions? One of the part of speech, right? And it shows you direction, movement, positions, etc. Now, even the time is told by this. So now, when we are talking about compound prepositions, हम prepositions जो कि पहले हम single पढ़ते आ रहे थे, हम जब combine करेंगे, जब 2 words prepositions या 3 words prepositions, हमने इसको कैसे समझना है, कैसे use करना है in our speech and in our writing. And secondly, the second thing is prepositional phrases, which means that those phrases जिसमें preposition का इस्तेमाल हुआ है ताकि हम identify कर सकें कि ये prepositional phrase है, just like adverbial phrase, adjectival phrase, noun phrase, etc. So these are the two things. Let's get started one by one. Here is your vertical linkage, and let's talk about prepositions. So now, who is going to tell me at least 3 prepositions? Yes, students.
If, under, on.
Yes, under, above, beside, upon, on, into, behind, besides, all of these are prepositions. जैसे हमने सीखा था parts of speech में that everything has a name. It has a name like noun. It has replacements or substitutes, pronouns. Similarly, जब हम बताएंगे कि कौन सी चीज किस पर है, किस तरह है, the book is on the table. So when we are listening to such words or when we are using these words, we are clarifying and we are giving some more information. All right? So we are telling about the position, the direction, the movement, ये सारी चीजें, time, ये सारी चीजें किस में कवर होंगी? Preposition में. All right? So, as you can see, to, along, across, onto, from, at, all of these are your prepositions. They are showing you direction, they are showing you time, etc. For example, the cat is under the bed or table. Now, we know where is our noun. Noun क्या है? Cat. What is the position of the noun? We are clear about it, right? So just like in Urdu, there are prepositions, but English prepositions are a little bit different. अगर आप literally English में translate करेंगे Urdu की prepositions को, then that's why you have your mistakes and incorrect sentences. So we need to fully not only translate from Urdu to English, but we need to understand the English prepositions and how do they work. Not only single prepositions, but compound prepositions. Prepositions 3 words की भी हो सकती हैं, 2 words के भी हो सकते हैं, single prepositions भी होती हैं, हम देखते हैं अभी. So, first let's start with the basics. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 sentences. Now, Muhammad, I would like you to read this first sentence. This gift is for you. Can you tell me the noun? Gift. What is the preposition?
You.
For is preposition. You to pronoun hai. So for, to, besides, on to, all these are your prepositions. The is actually an article. All right. A and the ये आपके आर्टिकल्स हैं डेफिनेट एंड इनडेफिनेट आर्टिकल्स. आई वेंट विद माई फ्रेंड. With. The house was built by a famous architect. He came from a small town. I know nothing about that. ये सारे words जो हैं, they are showing us relation, they are showing us position, direction, time, etc. in different examples. Alright? So these are our prepositions. Now, a preposition, it can be a single word, like most of the prepositions in the English language, but some prepositions are made up of two or more words. और इसे हम क्या कहते हैं? Compound preposition. And they function as a single unit. Even if they are made up of two or three words, they are still going to act up as a single preposition. All right? To convey a particular meaning, these are called compound prepositions. This is how you define compound prepositions. Sometimes prepositions are made up of single words, and sometimes prepositions are made up of two or more than two words. All right. Let's talk about the single or simple prepositions that we are already aware of. Very easy. For, by, at, out, and all of these prepositions, they are mostly containing two syllables. All right. Simple prepositions are words like all of these words. For example, the whale dived into the water, creating a massive splash. पानी के अंदर, into the water. All right. हम यहां पे in भी लिख सकते हैं, in the water, but that is not very clear. क्योंकि in तो surface level पे भी हो सकता है. Into is more elaborative and it tells us a visual, a visual information that into the water completely. So, I am from Kasur, so this is showing the relation. Mom is here till her brother gets into college. The moon does not shine by its own light. My niece is suffering from flu. I am working hard at geography. So, all of these are simple one-word preposition. Here, into is single preposition, as it is already established. But if I say from within, besides, instead of, these are compound prepositions. All right. Now here are some common compound prepositions. They are used in our daily life and we are aware of. In addition to, कितने words हैं? 1, 2, 3. Compound preposition है. On behalf of, I am speaking on behalf of my brother. On behalf of का मतलब क्या है? उसकी behalf पे, उसकी जगह पर. तो ये हमें एक पोजीशन का इजहार कर रहे हैं. हम क्यों बात कर रहे हैं? किसके behalf पे बात कर रहे हैं? It is telling us, I am angry with my friend. Am I angry? So यहां पे I am angry with my friend. हम अपने दोस्त से नाराज होते हैं ना? Alright. So with. Alright. In accordance with, in front of. So if you're telling a very clear image, the burglar was in front of the garden. So it is telling us the exact position of the noun or the person we are talking about. Similarly, in place of, instead of, in spite of, by means of, with respect to, all of these are prepositions. Now, हर किसी में आप prepositions को identify कर सकते हैं. On, of, behalf, यहां पे देखें, with respect to. Respect क्या है यहां पे? This is other than preposition, but it is mixing up with compound prepositions. On account of, in spite of, in place of, all of these are your compound prepositions, and every preposition has a different function. By, with, from, they are single prepositions, but they have individual functions. इसी तरह compound prepositions को भी हम सही तरह यूज करेंगे in the correct situation where it is most appropriate and suitable. Let's look at some examples. We have two prepositions acting upon as one unit. This is an example of compound preposition. Because of the heavy traffic, we arrived late to the meeting. Because of is telling us the cause, right? The reason why we are late. Because of. अगर हम यहां पे कुछ और भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, due to. Due to is also a compound preposition. In addition to studying for exams, he also volunteers at the local shelter. In addition to is our compound preposition. Okay, स्टडी के साथ साथ मजीद ये एक और इजाफी चीज ये है कि वो वॉलंटियर भी कर रहा है. तो दिस इज ऑल्सो एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ compound preposition. There was a long line of people waiting for tickets in front of the circus. In front of, बिल्कुल उसके सामने. Clarifying our position, it is more elaborative. That's why we use compound prepositions. Why can't we use just simple prepositions or single prepositions? Because we need clarity. ज्यादा चीजें वाज़ेह हो जाएंगी, इसलिए हम compound prepositions का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. Just like compound adjectives, compound nouns, etc. जो हमने already पहले पढ़े थे. Compound words हैं जो हमें मजीद information और मजीद modification देता है. Instead of coffee, she decided to have a cup of herbal tea. की बजाय क्या है? कॉफी की बजाय उसने she preferred a cup of herbal tea. So अगर आप इसको उर्दू में भी तर्जुमा करेंगे, then you will see that this is more than one word, right? So this is how you can see that this is a compound word, and this helps you in translation as well. So now let's see. We have some compound prepositions of two words, and then we have three word prepositions. यहां पे आप देखें, according to me the system will crash. मेरे मुताबिक. उर्दू में भी ट्रांसलेट करेंगे तो क्या हो जाएगा? More than one word, right? According to me, because of. According to me किस लिए यूज होगा? मेरे मुताबिक. अपने बिहाफ पे, अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग से बात करने के लिए, अपनी नॉलेज और एक्सपीरियंस से बात करने के लिए आप क्या यूज करते हैं? According to me. So now, according to me, this compound preposition will only be used in this situation. जब आप कहेंगे कि मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग के मुताबिक, मेरे तजर्बे के मुताबिक ये होगा, तो इसी सिचुएशन में according to इस्तेमाल करेंगे. So every preposition has their own, it has its own function. Due to, instead of, as of. Now some compound prepositions can be used in place of others, like because of, due to, all right? On top of. एक तो preposition था हमारे पास on, which is telling us simply that the book is on the table, right? But to be more elaborative, since we are talking about prepositions, they are giving you instructions about directions, movements, etc. On top of, on account of, in spite of, in front of. They're telling you more information. In spite of, like जैसे हम यूज करते हैं instead of, in spite of, के जैसे in spite of his anger, he still managed to talk to him. कि गुस्से के बावजूद उसने फिर भी उससे बात की. कि गुस्सा तो था, उसके बावजूद उसने उससे बात की. ठीक है? In spite of. All right. Let's see some of these compound prepositions into action. According to is used to attribute a statement or report to a particular person. एक खास इंसान के मुताबिक अगर कोई बात है, authority or source, then in order to mention that source, according to him, according to the news report, according to XYZ newspaper, XYZ news channel, according to XYZ reporter, my friend, according to me, according to my teacher. So you are talking and you are quoting somebody who's authoritative, who's acting as a source, or any particular persons. For example, according to New York Times bestseller list, it is an awesome book. We are talking about that this book, particular book, is on the top. It is amazing. According to New York Times bestseller. So we are referring to something, some entity, some organization, or any newspaper agency or whatever. According to the police, the murderer shot him twice. So this is, हम किसको refer कर रहे हैं? We are referring to a authority. So this is how you use according to, and according to again is a compound preposition. But this will act as one preposition. हमने यहां पे कितनी preposition इस्तेमाल की? One, but that is a compound preposition. Now, because of is used before a noun or a noun phrase to talk about the reason for an action. Reason के लिए, वजह बताने के लिए हम because of use करते हैं. For example, he couldn't attend the big game. Now, why couldn't he attend the big game? कोई reason होगा, कोई वजह होगी. तो because of his leg injury. Now, अब यहां पे देखें, अगर हम सिंगल preposition इस्तेमाल करें, नहीं कर सकते. We require more information according to the sentence. My teacher had to retire. Why? Because of illness. So these compound prepositions are also connecting our sentence together. Cause, effect, problem, solutions may be. You can use your compound prepositions. Let's look at another compound preposition. Now there are a lot of compound prepositions, but here we have taken some for understanding that how do they work. Due to हम क्यों use करते हैं? Indicates that something is caused by a particular thing or person, and it is similar, as I told you, it is similar to because of. All right. Due to her courage and skill, she is the top employee of the month. She is the top employee of the month. How did she get there? Due to her courage and skill. Courage and skill थी उसमें, उसका effect क्या हुआ? She became the top employee of the month. तो ये क्या है? Cause. And this is the effect. We canceled the picnic. Why? Due to bad weather. Instead of. Now this is used to indicate a substitution. मुतबादल बताने के लिए for something or somebody. And you can also use in place of. This is also a compound preposition. So just like due to, because of, interchangeable हैं, in place of and instead of are also interchangeable. All right. Here are some more compound prepositions in addition to, in front of, with examples. In addition to financial expenses, we have to consider other problems. And in front of, the taxi stopped in front of the school. Now you can imagine, where did it stop? Here is the taxi and here is the school, right in front of, showing us the exact position, right? ठीक है students, आपको समझ आ रही है?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do this interesting activity. सारे prepare हो जाएं. Students, you can see it on the screen. Now let's match the remaining half of the sentence with the correct one, with the suitable other half, right? So the first one has already been done. There were some really good bands at the festival last year. All right, this one. So यहाँ पे, what do you think? Do we have a single preposition or a compound preposition? Single, right? At. Single preposition इस्तेमाल हुई है. Next, your coats and scarves are शाबाश, पढ़ें, सारे ऑप्शंस को पढ़कर बताएं कि हाउ कैन यू मैच दिस वन आर in the cupboard by the front door.
Under
Okay,
the sink.
all right. No, not under the sink, that is not logical. You have to consider all of these options and then make your answer. All right, who painted that lovely picture on the bedroom wall, on the desk in my office? So yes, which one is the right
On the
option?
bedroom wall.
On the bedroom wall, because यहाँ पे देखें we have a question mark at the end, it means this will go with the question mark. Interrogative word है हमारा start में, so obviously it will end with a question mark. Can you put your old papers in the bin? Yes.
Under the sink.
Under the sink? Yes. All right, let's match it. You will find the tickets.
On the desk in my office.
Yes. At the moment, Meryl is living in Izmir, but she comes from Ankara. Louisa met her husband at her best friend's wedding. All right, now notice that sometimes we are using at, in, on, how. I'm at the gate. I'm at the gate of the school. I'm in front of the balcony. So according to the situation, कि आप क्या पोजीशन वाज़िया कर रहे हैं, क्या टाइम बता रहे हैं, this is how you're going to use your prepositions carefully. Okay, now let's practice some more prepositions. यहाँ पे students, what are you saying, single prepositions or compound prepositions? Yes, compound prepositions. All right. Number one, yes, students from the Zoom class, who's going to tell me the first questions option? You have the word bank here, up to, according to, from behind, and from within. My son emerged the curtains to scare me. Yes, from behind the curtains.
From behind.
Secondly, meteorology department.
According
Yes,
to.
according to. It is to replenish our renewable resources. Yes. Up to nature? Up to what do you mean by up to? उसके ऊपर इन्हिसार है, वो उसके ऊपर है. Yes, बिल्कुल. Zeal is something that comes. Zeal means, satisfaction, happiness from within a person. From within.
Behind.
No, it's not behind. From within, yani andar se. So just like you can translate in Urdu and see that this is also a compound preposition. All right. Now let's add some more compound prepositions in the blanks. These practices, activities that we are doing is very important. जब तक आप prepositions को, compound prepositions को practically अपनी speech में, अपने sentences में और इस तरह की activities में इस्तेमाल नहीं करेंगे dear students, तब तक आपको हर preposition का function clear नहीं होगा. So it's very important that you distinguish and do as many practice activities as you can. For example, the burglar was sitting right, yes, in front of. The nature of this person is, yes, away from normal. All right. So बहुत सारी prepositions आप according to the situation इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. He was not at all. How can you use this?
With his father.
Yes, with will be simple. हमने compound preposition को इस्तेमाल करना है. Yes. So Think about this practice activity. Find the compound prepositions and solve these by yourselves. You can take the screenshot, note these down. Eventually you are going to get the PPT and then you can take these questions and solve by yourselves. देखें compound preposition की list निकालें और देखें which one is going with according to the situation and according to the context. So lot of compound prepositions, but we have to think about the context. Context के मुताबिक हम उसको use करेंगे. All right. Now we have seen prepositions, prepositional, compound prepositions, right? Two word and let's talk about prepositions again, but in phrases. You all know what a phrase is? Yes? Group of words, but not complete sense, and they are made up of other words in combination with noun, in combination with adjectives, adverbs, prepositions. So this group of words where we have 2, 3, 4, 5 words, they are called phrases. They are acting as a unit in grammar of the English language. Now, when we have prepositions in our phrase, that phrase will be called prepositional phrase because we are spotting a preposition in our phrase. Prepositional phrases, these are group of words that begin with a preposition. So note this down. A prepositional phrase always begins with a preposition and it ends with a noun. It can end with a pronoun or a noun phrase. They are called the object of the preposition. वो part जो preposition के बाद आएगा, that is object of the preposition. So it means that the structure, the formula of making a prepositional phrase is starting it with a preposition, ending with noun, pronoun or noun phrase. और वो noun, pronoun और noun phrase जो preposition के बाद है, that would be called object of the preposition. These phrases, they provide additional information about the location, time, manner or direction of an action. Just like prepositions से हमें location, time, manner, direction ये सब का पता चलता है, and even in prepositional phrases we get to know about all these things, but with more explanation and more clarity. The prepositional phrase function as an adverbial phrase modifying a verb, adjective or noun in the sentence. So it means that in the same prepositional phrase you can spot some adverbs. Slowly, accordingly, all these adverbs and some adjectives can also be found in prepositional phrase. But the head word is preposition because prepositional phrase है, the first word, the head word is always going to be a preposition, and with this phrase you can find different modifiers like adjective, adverb, etc. Alright, now I'm going to ask you. Common prepositional phrases, prepositions used in phrase. So, be very attentive. These are the common prepositions जो कि phrases में ज़्यादातर इस्तेमाल होती हैं. They are in front of you. Let's look at the first one. In. The book is in the bag. So, let's spot our phrase over here. In the bag. ये हमारा क्या है? Prepositional phrase. How? It's beginning with preposition, ending with a noun, and this is just an article. To be more specific, चाहे ये definite है या indefinite है, that depends, but this is how your prepositional phrase looks like. On. So on the wall, at the park, with a fork, from my friend, to the store, about the weather, for her friend. All of these are phrases. Group of words giving us some information but not a complete information, and we need some part of the sentence. हमें कुछ चाहिए इनको sense करने के लिए, to make logic, to make sense, and to give a complete message. But you can see that each one of these prepositional phrases are beginning with a preposition, ending with noun, noun phrase, or pronoun. Here all of them are ending with a noun. So this is how you practically see the definition of a prepositional phrase. So the structure is clear. Preposition, any noun or pronoun, that becomes a prepositional phrase. For example, without Samara, without her. अब ये without Samara या Samara, whatever the name is, this is a preposition, of course. Preposition है हमारे पास, and we have a noun. So this makes a prepositional phrase, right? With a noun. But you can also make a prepositional phrase with a pronoun. Alright? तो हमने उस यूनिट को रिप्लेस कर दिया with another part of speech, as we know that pronouns are used for replacing nouns. Alright. So, clear hai? Now let's make some prepositional phrases. Yes. Under the fan. Behind the lights. ये क्या है सारे? Prepositional phrases. Yes, very. On the sketchbook. Alright. Under the pillow. These are your prepositional phrases. Very good answers. Alright. So क्या होगा? Preposition, any noun or pronoun, and then it becomes a prepositional phrase. Over his head. Over his head. The question went over his head. Over his head क्या है? Prepositional phrase. Over preposition, head is a noun, and we have a, an, or the, that they work as articles. All right. So now हमने बात की थी कि preposition phrase में, prepositional phrase में कुछ modifiers भी add हो सकते हैं, right? कुछ adjectives भी add हो सकते हैं, but that would still be called prepositional phrase. For example, preposition आ जाएगी हमारी यहाँ पे plus every modifier. We know what is a modifier? Adjectives जो modify करते हैं, यानी कुछ मजीद बताते हैं हमारे noun के बारे में. So then the object of the preposition. The noun, pronoun or noun phrase जो भी हैं वो end में they are object of the preposition. Note this formula down. It's very important. In a yellow submarine. This is a phrase, prepositional phrase. How? Beginning with the preposition, ending with a noun. This is the preposition. This is the object of the preposition. And yellow क्या है? It's a modifier. It is telling us about the quality, and hence this is a adjective. Of the best and brightest students. Above it. यहाँ पे आप देखें. In above it, you simply have, yes, you have preposition above or ये pronoun. This makes up a prepositional phrase. Alright. Now let's look at some examples. For the current generation, for achieving such good grades in the past. क्या है? Now, these are taken from some sentences. These group of words are taken from some sentences, and we know जब हम sentence में से कुछ ऐसा उठाते हैं तो that is a phrase. And here these are your prepositional phrase. Preposition, 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 and then generation, grades, past, ending with nouns. And this is how you make your prepositional phrase. Let's look at over here. The tiger crept over the grass. Okay? With the tattered cover is my favorite. Around the world. All these are prepositional phrase. अब हमें clear है कि how can we spot a prepositional phrase? Yes, students? Yes. What about Afia, the Renaissance school, the Renaissance and other students? Abiha, क्लियर है? कोई क्वेश्चन है आपका तो आप अभी पूछ सकते हैं.
No sir, clear है.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the placing of a prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrase, dear students, sentence के start में भी आ सकता है, middle में भी पाया जा सकता है, और even at the end of a sentence. So these are the three positions where you can spot your prepositional phrase. Let's say, after trying multiple times, Haritha finally cleared the equation. यहां पे phrase क्या है? After trying multiple times. This is a prepositional phrase. Noun, preposition. Makes a prepositional phrase. And this is coming before, alright? At the beginning of a sentence. In the middle, example hai, the cafe on the 4th street has really good donuts. I'm sure you must like them. I do. The cafe on the 4th street. यहां से कौन बताएगा prepositional phrase कहां से start हो रहा है? अमन आप बताएं. यहां से, दा से या on से? दा किसने बोला? No, दा is an article. Start कहां से होगा preposition? Prepositional phrase preposition से. Alright? On the 4th street. Now, who's going to tell me about using it at the end of the sentence? The box was kept under the table. Yes. Under the table? Right. तो आपने देखा कि at the start, at the mid, in the middle and at the end, you can use your prepositional phrases. And this is all about the main lesson. Now the worksheet is attached where you have to select the right preposition in the sentences. Alright, you will get your worksheet, and you will also get a skill sheet where you will do this. For the homework, this is what you're supposed to do. Alright, ये हमने पहले भी क्लासरूम में डिस्कस किया था. This is what you're going to do as your homework. Place the right, correct compound preposition, find them and place them clearly that suits the context of the sentence. So this is what you're going to do with your homework. And for resources, you'll get a worksheet, a skill sheet based on the topic, and this PowerPoint presentation. So let's wrap up the lecture, students. Compound prepositions with examples हमने देखा, और हमने देखा prepositions, single, two-word preposition and three-word compound prepositions. All right. Then we looked for our prepositional phrase, and how do we identify it? Starts with the preposition, ends with a noun, pronoun, or noun phrase, and they can be found at the beginning, middle, and at the end. This is all about today's lecture. Now it's time for you to revise it, revisit the lecture whenever you want to, and then solve the exercises, do your tasks, and submit it on time. You can submit it in the group by taking the screenshot, solving it on the paper, or even on the worksheet, however you like it. That's all about today's lecture, students. So do we have any kind of question? Claire? All right. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.